Hello, folks. Robert Chappell, Executive Editor, Madison365, with your daily update for today, which is Thursday, the 17th of February. That sounds about right, I think. I'll let you know today the update is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Right now, Steinhoffels is having their biggest President's Day sale ever. Save 35 to 55% off throughout the entire store. Plus, get great bonus buys like a 5-piece counter height dining set for only $2.99. It's Steinhoffel's biggest President's Day ever. Shop in store or online at steinhoffels.com today. And we appreciate Steinhoffels and their support of Madison 365 and community journalism. First, we're going to jump into the news first because this is kind of a big update that we just got today. Actually came out yesterday, but we don't have... we're a small team. We're a small outlet. We don't have people watching the Pacer, which is the federal court database thing for everything that's coming out every day. So we rely on the community to keep us up to date on things sometimes. And I appreciate Christy Goforth, who is the alder in Monona, for giving me a heads up that this was coming. But the federal district court in the Western District of Wisconsin, Judge James Patterson, has ruled that Monona police committed a clear-cut violation of the Fourth Amendment back in June when they entered a home and drew their weapons and handcuffed Keontae Furge, who was staying there perfectly legally and with permission of the home owner. Now, you might remember this story. This is literally weeks after the murder of George Floyd, so everything was very heightened anyway. But Keontae Furge graduated from Monona High School in 2016. Played football there. Torrin Young, who went on to play football for the University of Iowa, was staying for the summer at a home that was owned by the football coach, their former football coach, their coach when they played. And he was letting them stay there. And Keontae was needed a place to stay for a couple of days. And Torrin said, "You can stay here. It's cool." And somebody in the neighborhood saw Keontae standing on the front porch. And because he's a black person standing on the front porch, they called the police. Which is not the most logical thing necessarily, but that's what happened. And the police came and didn't knock, didn't talk to the neighbors, didn't ring the doorbell, didn't look in the window. They just they opened the door. They in written report, by the way, they said they knocked, but they didn't. They drew their guns. They walked in, and they scared the hell out of this kid and detained him in handcuffs until they figured out, oh, it's Keontae, and let him go. Keontae and Torrin went to the police department to file a complaint. They got an apology. The police chief, the mayor, was very contrite about it. Winona, by the way, has a new police chief now. But later that year in September, Keontae filed a federal lawsuit. And we learned today that the judge in that lawsuit has ruled summary judgment. This didn't even go to trial. There's a summary judgment that Officer Jared Wedding was not entitled to qualified immunity, but that Officer Luke Wunsch, the officer that you see here, this is Wedding's body camera. So the officer you see there is Wunsch, and he is entitled to qualified immunity because he was just going by what Wedding was telling him, and Wedding had no evidence that a crime was being committed. The judge actually wrote in his ruling, which you can read at Madison365.org right now. The top story is this, and you can actually read the whole ruling. It's 19 pages. It's not that long. But he said that if they had asked for a search warrant, it would have been laughable, given that there was no evidence that a crime was being committed. There was no car to get away with. It was broad daylight. It was, he wasn't even fully dressed. This is clearly not a burglary. And the judge said if you had called and applied for a search warrant to enter the house, it would have been, literally the word he said was, laughable. But he did rule that Wunsch was going by wedding judgment and is therefore liable only for the subsequent detention, which was also unlawful. So that is the story we have today. We will. I did hear back from the current police chief, who said that they are going to post a statement on the website shortly. So I'll update the story with that when that comes out. There will be a. Oh, the other thing is the judge ruled that the police officers did not act with malice or evil intent. Like they in good faith thought they were doing their job right, but they weren't. I mean, they clearly weren't. It's clearly unlawful, but they weren't acting with malice. So therefore, Keontae Furge will receive actual damages, right? I mean, it was a traumatic experience. It's a traumatic experience for a black kid to walk out of a bedroom and see two guns pointed at you. So he'll receive actual damages for that, but not punitive damages. Exactly what damages he will receive will be determined at trial next month. So the judge did not award a specific amount of damages. He just ruled basically in favor of Keontae Furge. Keontae Furge also dropped a claim of excessive force and dropped the city of Monona as a defendant. So basically, the summary judgment is against these two police officers who will be liable. Now, the question is, I have a call into Furge's attorneys. They haven't called me back yet, which is fine. But the question is, who's paying for that? Will the city of Monona cover that? Will the city of Monona's insurance company cover that? Or will these officers have to pay it out of their own pockets? I'm not sure about that. I'll find out, though. So that's the main story that I have been working on for the past hour or so today, and that is, again, at Madison365.org. We also have the entire body cam footage, along with a statement from the mayor of Monona, which was issued 2 days after the event. So we still have that video, and that is there for you to see. It's a little bit upsetting. It's stressful to watch, but you can see it right there at Madison365.org. Also today, finally, we've been saying this, Michael Finley is having his number retired. We actually published our CEO, Henry Sanders, wrote an op-ed last year, 2 years ago now. Wow, 2 years ago, when the number of Frank Kaminsky was retired, which was absolutely appropriate. He's one of the greatest players ever in Badger history. But it, didn't escape our notice that the three people whose numbers had been retired from the UW-Madison program were all white. Michael Redd, Michael Finley went on to great NBA careers, transformed the UW program, where didn't have their numbers retired. So, but good job, UW. Michael Finley on Sunday will have his number retired. He was the first UW player to score 2,000 points. Went on to play for the Bucks as well as many other teams in the NBA. So, congratulations to him. Also today, Shalisa Johnson, shown here on the right, is a photographer here in Madison. And she is raising money for Czar's Hope, which is an organization raised money for canine cancer research, as well as to support families who lose their beloved pets to cancer and other illnesses. And basically, she's doing portrait sessions with your dog in exchange for a donation to Czar's Promise. I'm sorry, I said Czar's Hope. It's Czar's Promise. Sorry. Czar's Promise of $99. Normally, a photo session is $200, so it's much less expensive. But also, she wants to make the donation there, and she's done 16 of these so far. She's gonna do 16 more, and she's gonna post all the photos, and you all are gonna vote on the awesomest dogs. I don't know how you define that. Is up to you. It's subjective. Cutest, coolest looking, nicest looking. I don't know. But the winners of those will get all sorts of fun prizes donated by local businesses. And it's all just a fundraiser for that organization, Czar's Promise. So that is also Madison365.org. And finally, in local news today, another way for you to get involved if you want to. A room of one's own bookstore, Madison Institution, is reviving something they did back in 2020 at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020. Their marketing manager, Missy Ann Taylor, started this what they called Books for Black Bookish Wonders. Basically allowed white or other non-black folks to buy a book for black folks, for somebody black. Like, it's one of those things where, like, everybody wants to do something. What can I do? I work in a bookstore. We're gonna make books happen, you know. It went over well 2 years ago. So for Black History Month, they're reviving it. You can, if you're not black, you can go to there's a website you can go to. There's a link in the story on Madison365.org where you can donate $30 to buy somebody a book. You don't choose the book; they choose the book. That's how it works. And if you're black and you want a free book, you fill out a form, and they'll send you a free book. It's easy. It's that easy. And that Rodlin May Banting has that story for us at Madison365.org. We'll talk a bit of COVID. The news is good. It continues to be good. But we'll go over that in just a minute. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Oops. There you go. Now there you go. There I am. Okay, let's talk COVID numbers for a second. The indicators that we follow are continue to fall. 1,493 confirmed cases per day in the past 7 days. That's 1,586 new cases just today. The positive test rate continues to fall. It was 8.4 today. It was over 9 yesterday, I think. No, it was 8.8 yesterday, sorry. So that continues to fall. That'll be back down into an acceptable range around the 3% range by the end of the month if this continues. The trend is almost straight down. Hospitalizations also took another big dip today. 770 currently hospitalized. That's down 350 in the past 7 days. That's like a 30% increase. I'm sorry, 30% decrease. 30% increase would be terrible. 30% decrease is great. That's like a 30% decrease in the past 7 days. That's incredible. 158 currently in the ICU, which is good. That's down also by dang near 30% as well. Just in the past 7 days. That's amazing. The 7-day average of confirmed deaths is up slightly today, up to 14. That's with 30 new deaths confirmed. Again, that's a little bit of a squishy number just because those are the deaths that were confirmed today, not that happened today. Those happened 4 to 6 weeks ago. And today is just those death certificates being confirmed and loaded into the data. We are now at 11,701 confirmed deaths in the state of Wisconsin, 1,342 probable deaths. So for a total of just over 13,000 deaths in the state of Wisconsin. So again, none of that is good news really, but it is much better than it has been, much better than it was even a month ago. So mask mandate will expire March 1st here in Dane County. Mask mandate at the University of Wisconsin Madison campus will expire March 11th. Haven't heard a lot about other campuses. I know UW's system is asking all campuses basically to end masking requirements on March 1st. UW Madison decided to hang on to theirs until spring break, just because that's kind of a natural breaking point in the semester. So March 11th is the last day you'll have to wear a mask on campus. Then you'll go to spring break, come back. Hopefully you don't bring COVID back with you. And after that, basically the entire state will be no more mask requirements. Lots of venues, lots of stores, lots of businesses might require masks still, and might require vaccination, right? Which is completely their right to do. But in terms of government restrictions, that'll be about it, with the exception of possibly school districts. But for the most part, from a government regulation standpoint, we'll be kind of back to normal by March 1st. So cross your fingers. We'll see how it happens. That's almost 2 years to the day. March 13th, 2020 was when everything went to hell here in Wisconsin. So we'll keep an eye on it, though, and we'll try to keep you informed as much as we possibly can. Until tomorrow, we'll be back, but have a good evening. Stay warm, and we'll see you soon.
This is 365 Media.